Hi there. In this lecture, we're looking at, it's called the Progressive Period. It's situated in history what we refer to as the Gilded Age. This is the period at the end of the 19th century. We're headed into the 20th. We've got huge inequalities of wealth. Gilded is a word that means like something's covered, right? So Mark Twain coined this phrase, the Gilded Age, that he referred to it as gilded because on the surface everything looked great, right? You have Carnegie and Rockefeller and Vanderbilt, all these people with extravagant wealth and extravagant homes. But if you scratch the surface of that, they have all these things because millions and millions and millions and millions of people have nothing. And so this is that era in history. And for women, what we're going to talk about in the Progressive Period is the reform that they get involved in. Now, we saw reform before the Civil War, and at that point we said there's not a whole lot of people that are participating in reform. We looked at moral reform in the context of prostitution and mental health asylums. We talked about temperance. We looked at abolition and the women's rights movement. In this outline, you are a middle or upper class woman, you're involved in reform. And that is across racial lines too, we'll see. So first we're going to start off with this new woman. And you're going to look at some images to see what makes her new. You're going to see particularly her activities, right? A bicycle. She's out in public spaces in ways that we didn't see before. And what you want to think about when you look at the Gibson Girls, think back to those images we looked at from Godey's Ladies Book. Kind of try to make some comparisons there. And then we're going to look at women's activism in 4 different ways. We're going to talk about the clubs. We'll look at the Women's Christian Temperance Union. This is a continuance of the temperance movement that we saw before the Civil War. We're going to look at the Settlement House movement, which is largely orchestrated by Jane Addams and those women that she gets to work with her. And then we're going to talk about labor reform. And you're going to see what's going to be significant about labor reform is for the first time we're going to see women crossing. They won't cross racial lines, but they're going to cross class and ethnic lines. You'll see that in labor reform. There's a really good film that I got there for you on the Triangle of Fire. All right, I'm looking over the key terms to make sure I haven't overlooked anything in terms of introducing this outline. I think you're all set. Let me know if you've got any questions. Take care.